Donald Trump was a major problem for this nation, and Donald Trump is yesterday. The question is about tomorrow. Where are we going to go tomorrow? And we're working on that right now with the major infrastructure bill and also with the Build Back Better, which deals with families. How can we support families? That's what tomorrow is.
No question that's where tomorrow is. But that's not what we necessarily heard from Terry McAuliffe over the past 2 months. Even CNN and MSNBC were making fun of him for how many times he said Donald Trump in an interview.
Well, we'll see how that turns out tonight. That was a big issue in California with the recall election, and Newsom ran that hard.
And it worked.
It did. It worked very well. But there were other things that were going on in addition to that message, and that is also what's going on here in Virginia. Yes, no doubt about it. McAuliffe is talking about Trump a lot, but also he's talking about how to build the economy, how to support families, how to build the infrastructure. Those are also a very big part of his total message.
As you look at the map in Virginia, as we talked about, certainly the momentum is with Glenn Youngkin and the math is with Terry McAuliffe. Is there something Democrats need to learn from the anger that Youngkin was able to capture over the issue, broadly speaking, of education in the suburbs?
Well, certainly he ran on that social issue. McAuliffe probably made a couple of mistakes the way he put that forward, but let's take a look at what the Democrats have actually done. In the Build Back Better legislation, major money for families. Pre-K education, major money for community colleges, and on and on. Also in the rescue plan. So what we're really talking about, is it talk or is it action? The Democrats have really put the action together, and I suspect this week we're going to see the major legislation, the major infrastructure legislation, which does have education in it, as well as the Build Back Better. That's real education. It's not talk.
I'm glad you brought that up in terms of whether or not anything's going to pass, because you and I have talked a couple of times and we've said this is the week it's going to happen. It didn't happen, and Joe Manchin poured more cold water on it. Take a listen.
For the sake of the country, I urge the House to vote and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Holding this bill hostage is not going to work in getting my support for the reconciliation bill, and their position doesn't seem to change unless we agree to everything. Enough is enough.
Mr. President, what's your message to progressives?
That doesn't sound like things are going to get done this week.
I think things will get done this week. We're talking about a serious negotiator, a very experienced negotiator. Manchin had a set of things that he wanted to see out of the bill, and he wants to see in the bill. And what you heard there is the final effort for Manchin to structure the bill in a way that he wants, and he's going to be successful. He's going to be successful at finally putting this bill together. We're seeing the same thing on the other side with Jayapal and others. We're down to the wire here. We're at the last two pieces. A major breakthrough today, a major breakthrough on drug pricing. We're going to actually be able, as a government, to negotiate drug prices. Farmers not happy about what we've managed to do here, but that's not who we want happy. We want those seniors that have to have those prices.
I hear that. What's interesting, in maybe we can tie this both together.
Sure.
I was interviewed Terry McAuliffe 2 days ago, and he said hopefully we can see a bill passed today. He was hoping that some kind of action here would inspire Democrats and independents in Virginia that things can happen. Is there a chance that Democrats in the House have bit off too much?
No.
No.
We've done a terrific piece of work. Go back to the American Rescue Plan. Absolutely essential. That rescue plan kept businesses operating, gave money so people could actually stay alive with their jobs. So all of those pieces were there, and it was able to dampen, not end the pandemic because of the Delta variant, but that really worked. That was step one. That was just 2 months after the new president came in. We then took up the Build Back Better, the infrastructure piece. We got that together, bipartisan in the Senate. It will pass the House in a bipartisan vote. And then the Build Back Better, the reconciliation piece. We're talking about a major effort to sustain American families, to provide what they need so that the mother or the father can go back to work, with the early childhood education. All of those things are in it.
All right. Congressman, it's great to see you as always. We appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
We look forward to it.
Good to see you. All right. President Biden could be coming home to a major loss or a big win in Virginia. And Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.